from first. And he's going to be starting up on lane 7 on the left lane. Well, as soon as the machine racks reset themselves, here we go. And we're ready to go. Troy is stepping up in the first frame of the first game of the second match. I hope we don't have troubles with the pin setters. It's going to take a long time. Troy lets his first ball go, just like he finished off previously. Throws a strike. He's saving a lot of energy there. He doesn't have to throw 2 balls. Steve will now step up on the right lane for his first shot of the second match. Lets the ball go. And he starts out with the strike. Good. That's a good start. Strike on both sides. Steve throws his second frame. Steve starts out with a double. They throw nothing but strikes, it'll be easier to keep score. Troy's up on the approach for a second frame. Lets the ball fly. And he carries a strike. Even Steven after 2 frames. Boy. Like I said, if they throw strikes, it'll be easier to keep score this way. Troy starts off on 3. Now Steve's up in the 3rd frame. Oh, Steve throws one in the pocket, but it leaves a solid 10 pin. That gives Troy a 1-pin lead in his second match, which he can increase if he throws another strike. Steve shooting for the 10 pin, and he converts it. which as of right now, Troy would have a 11-pin lead if he strikes on his first ball in the fourth frame. Steve recovers from that spare by throwing a strike, giving him 69 in the third. Troy steps up on the approach, ready to take his shot in the fourth frame. Ball's gone, and oh my gosh, looked like a decent pocket hit, but unfortunately it's a 7-10 split. He throws hard at the 10-pin. That changes the whole complexion of this game, of this particular match. It gives Troy an 86 in the fourth frame. Steve's got 79 actually in the fourth frame, but he's got a strike, so he's still got a count coming. Troy throws his next shot. He recovers from that split by throwing another strike. That split created the first open frame for Troy thus far in both matches. Clean all the way through here. However, like I said, he came back with the strikes. Steve now up and carries the 10-pin. It's kind of a delayed reaction there. Amazing how one frame can change the whole makeup of the match. Steve up in his sixth frame. First game of the second match. He lets it go, and it carries. Steve's starting to apply the pressure to Troy. Troy's got to basically throw a strike to match it. There's no carryover from that first match. This match stands on its own. So now Troy is up in the sixth frame for his first shot, or hopefully maybe his only shot. Split. He had the 7-10 split. Oh my God. He had a 7-10 split on this lean the last time he shot here. And now he's got a 6 count. And he's got the 4, 6, 7, 9. Second split on the same out. This one could be makeable. He's going for it. Nope. Picks the 9 off. Gets a pin. That gives Troy 110 in the sixth. And he comes right back on lane 7 with the strike. It's exactly what he did after he had the 7-10 split a couple of frames ago. But Steve now with a 3-bagger sitting there has a respectable lead. And can definitely increase it here if he throws a couple of strikes. Steve's up. Ooh, Steve's really putting the pressure on now. Now throwing a 4 in a row. Throws a strike, he takes a 49-pin lead in this match. Only did it. He's caught fire. He's found something here. So Steve basically has a 49-pin lead in this game, and 49-pin lead in the match. These are 2-game matches, but Steve has found something. Now Troy's up again on the right lane. Unfortunately, he's thrown 2 splits in a row. Not this time. Yeah, that was almost a must-make shot. He throws a strike on that lane. Troy is up again now on the left lane on lane 7, and I'd have to say it's almost a must strike, and he does. It wasn't the prettiest, but they all went down. At the present time, Troy is 39 pins down to Steve in this game and in this match. Steve's up in the 9th. Looks decent, but it comes up a little high. Opens the door a little bit for Troy. We got 8 on the first ball. Steve makes the spare, giving him 207 in the 8th. With the spare up. Troy's got 140 in the 7th with the double up. Best Troy can do in this game, first game, is 230 if he strikes out. Steve can go out to 257. got 227 in the ninth. Looks like this might be a shootout in that last game, with Steve having to lead. Steve Kenyon can end up with 257 if he strikes out. The second one, 10. Barring something drastic right here, he will be in the 250s first. Steve will be in his 250 for his first game, 257 max. Troy can end up with 230 max, and it's almost necessary for him to do that to stay in this match. Steve lets the last ball go, and he does carry it up 257. He will go into the lead into the second game of this second match. Let's see what Troy can muster up here in the 10th frame. He's on the lane that actually hurt him the most, because that's when he's throwing through the splits. That's what's keeping him down in this match. And he does start out with his strike. He's got to keep striking. He needs all the pins he can get to cut into that lead and give himself a chance for that second game, or in the second game. Oh, looked good. So he's got 199 in the ninth, with a possible 219. That's the one game. Stus has got 219. Steve's got 257. That would put him up 38 points. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into the final game, the final match. And Steve has a 38-pin lead going into this game. And Steve starts out with a strike. In that last game, the only open frames between both bowlers were the two wide open splits that Troy had. Everything else was basically strikes, a couple of spares, but a lot of strikes were thrown by both bowlers. And again, Steve starts out with a strike in this final game. Troy lets the ball go, and Troy starts out with a strike. Troy now up on lane 7 for his second frame, and he doubles. Well, we could really have a shootout here in this last game for the Titans. Neither bowler is really giving in. I'm sure they both feel some pressure, but they're not really showing it. Now Steve steps up on the right lane for his second shot of this game. Looks decent. Oh, just a hair high 4-pin. Opens the door up a little bit for Troy, since Troy is working on a double. Shoots for the spare, makes it easily, gives him a 20 in his first frame, and potentially gives Troy a 10-pin lead in the second game. Still 28 pins down as far as the totals are concerned. Third frame for Steve, and he strikes. These two gentlemen are throwing a lot of strikes. Troy's up in the third frame. Let's fly. Ooh, and he gets a mixer. He gets a mixer. Well, he can cut further into that lead. Make this game very exciting. Troy is now up in the fourth frame. Lets it fly. Good cover. Carries a strike. Wow. This is fun watching this. That gives Troy 60 in the second. So he's up by 20 pins. And down by 18 in the match. Steve knows he's got to keep striking. Can't give Troy much more here. Steve answers. He strikes in the fourth frame. Pin difference right now in favor of Steve Kenyon. It's a question of who makes the first mistake or who gets robbed by the gods of bowling. Steve's up in the fifth. Looks good. And he throws a strike. That gives Steve Kenyon 70 in the third. Almost forces Troy to strike again to stay within that 18-pin deficit. There goes Troy. Oh my God. There's that lane 8. That's the one that caused him to have 2 splits in the first game. And now he's got a split in this game. 7-10 split. Ooh, he almost carries it. That pin came rolling across and just... That gives Troy 16 in the 5th and actually puts him back down to almost what he was down going into the second game. Oh, he almost left the 7-10 again, but manages to break that up. He gets a 9 count, 10 pin standing up. Even if Troy makes his spare, which it looks like he will, and he has, Steve can really put the hammer down as he throws a double down. Lane 8 has been Troy's Achilles heel. That's his 3rd wide open split on that lane in 2 games. If he's to win if he's to win this match, he's going to need some help from Steve. Steve right now looks like he's on fire. He's there. He rolls a nice ball. And it goes. Well, kind of left the door still open. He only had got an 8 count. .610, and he just does convert it. That gives Steve Kenyon a 2-pin lead in the second game of this match, and a 40-pin lead overall in the match, with 4 frames to go. Still, anything can happen. He carries a strike in the 7th. That gives him 138 in the 6th with the strike up. Troy really doesn't have much choice. He's got to match him, at least match him, and hope that Steve gives him an opening. Otherwise, the Masters Championship will go to Steve Kenyon. This time he does strike on lane 8, the one that's been giving him all the headaches with the splits. And it gives him 136 in the 6th. Down 2 pins in this game and 40 pins down in the match. And hasn't really not much choice, but he's got the strike. lets it go. And he does strike. Still not over. But he does need help from Steve Kenyon. If Steve stays clean, I would say he's going to win. But you never know what can happen. Troy can strike out for a 256. Steve can strike out for a 258. Steve's up in the 8th frame. Letting it go. Looks decent. Comes up high. Oh my God. What knocked that pin down? He went from, well, not a total disaster, but really opening the door to you got a 3-pin spare. Not a gimme. I've seen people even at this level chop, miss, whatever. But he lets it go. Looks pretty good, and he does make the spare. But he has opened the door just a bit. Just a bit. Well, now the best he can do. 5. Steve can strike out for 235. If he does that, he's got it. And if he doesn't strike here, Troy still has an outside chance here. And lets it go. And he does strike. That was a big strike in the 9th. Gives him 175. 175 in the 8th with the potential 235 game. Troy, if he strikes out, have a 256 game. Come up short. But this is Troy doesn't have much choice. He's got to strike out to force Steve to at least strike in the first frame. There's the first ball, and Troy does just that. He strikes. He's on pace to a 256. It's an exciting match. A lot of strikes. There goes Troy, and well, that might have done it. Troy gets an 8 count on his first ball in the 10th. I don't think he has enough, even if he spares the strikes, to overcome the deficit that he's facing against Steve. 6. He did throw the spare. The best Troy can do is 234 with the strike. And he got 9, so he's 233. The match is over with the lead that Steve had. So Troy gave it a shot. Well, if Steve throws 2 gutter balls, there's a chance, but other than that, it's over. And Steve keeps it between the gutters, gets 8 pins. Steve Kenyon still has one more shot here. If he throws a strike, he'll end up with 213. So he would have lost the second game. But there he goes. That's all he needed. He got 8 pins on his last ball. Anyways, congratulations to Steve Kenyon. He is our Metro Detroit Bowling Association 2025 Senior Masters Champion. And Troy is the runner-up. It was a heck of a match because we went to the limit, went to the final match. I hope you enjoyed the game or games. We'll see you next year.
Steve Kenyon, how does it feel to be the 2025 Metro Detroit MDUSBC Senior Masters Champion?
Feels wonderful. I appreciate it, Phil, and I thank you guys for running the tournament, Indian Lanes for hosting. Everybody here was great, getting lanes taken care of and stuff, and it's a wonderful feeling to win one of these, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So yesterday you qualified 14. How did you feel coming into match play today?
I felt a lot more comfortable coming in today. Yesterday I struggled early. I had a good look in some of the middle games, but then I found a good ball to squeak out a 268 the last game that I needed at the end. So.
Very nice. So walk us through today. You were very consistent, mostly in the low 5s and a couple high 4s. Talk about consistency throughout match play.
I'm very happy with the way I threw the ball today. Usually in match play I kind of rush, and so I made it a point to really try to slow down, take my time, and try to throw consistent shots, which I'm very happy to say I did today. So I had great ball reaction, was able to get a lot of corners out today. For the most part, picked up my spares and stayed out of trouble. So.
Back-to-back defending champion Troy Stus.
Troy
you had to face him in 3 matches.
No, I only faced him twice today.
Well, no, you faced him once to put him into the losers bracket.
That is true. That is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. At the end.
So I took 2 out of 3 from him. That's an amazing thing. Troy is such a good bowler. He's so competitive. Throws the ball really, really well. So I feel very, very happy to be able to say I took 2 out of 3 from him today.
So how does it feel to have a Metro Detroit USBC title championship?
It feels wonderful, as I know it helps me get into next year's tournament. I don't have to worry overly about qualifying. I can just come out here and see how the lanes play and everything, but I'll be ready for match play next year. And it feels good to win a Metro Detroit USBC title here.
Okay, any final words you'd like to share?
I'd like to thank my daughter for coming out and watching me all day today. I know she had to get up early to do that, and I appreciate that. So thank you, hon.
All right, well, congratulations again.
Thank you.